So, how are you, Johannes? How was your night?
Well, it's been good. I've been sitting here talking to people for almost 5 hours now, but mostly I get to
Wow.
talk about myself, so it's okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's okay, but I think you are enjoying it, this talk with a lot
No,
of people
it's
around the
abs
world.
yeah, I know it's absolutely fine. It's about the album and it's exciting times. So, uh,
Yeah.
of all work and jobs I've had in my life, this is not the worst.
Exactly. Well, but before getting to the album, I remember that like 1 year and a half ago, we were talking about your last tour in Latin America. That was the
Mm,
Great Metal Circus, and you shared with us, you talked with us about that you were writing new music, that you were also
mm.
shared with us about how difficult it is to make music, the technology, how also we consume music, and now in this 10th chapter, Avatar's history. How do you feel that now all the things that you were thinking in that time for the new music is going to see the light? If there's something that you think that was risky in that time that says, no, I'm not sure, but now it's becoming essentially to this album. And if there are any sounds or concepts that you think that also broke your own rules as Avatar, as Johannes, as musician.
I don't think anything felt like breaking our own rules, no, because our rules are very simple. We want to write and perform our own material. And that's basically it. That's and beyond that, we want to always honestly reflect where we are at the time when we make the music. That is what it's gonna sound like. We're not gonna pretend that we are 10 years younger or 10 years older or whatever. It's right now every time. Um, So I feel good about it. I'm trying to remember when we spoke where I was at in my head because the whole journey of making this, it's such a roller coaster. Uh, where you zoom in, you because especially with an album like this, uh, every other album has you do one album where you start with a plan. Then you do an album where you don't want to have a plan, you want to see where it goes. And we kind of go back and forth. You can really, since Feathers and Flesh, yeah, Feathers and Flesh was a concept album, but it was more about learning to make a concept album. So that was exploring. Then Avatar Country, we kind of knew what a concept album was and we had a plan. But then, because we did a plan and we nailed it, that felt boring. So then we do Hunter Gatherer, which was more finding out, looking for something. And at the end of it, we saw what we did. And because we did that, uh, we did Dance That Will Dance, which once again, there we start had a vision in the beginning or early, not the beginning, but early in the process. Like, okay, this is what we're making here. And because we were so happy with Dance That Will Dance, I think we really nailed it. Then it's like, okay, boring, next. Because then you want to find something else, a new challenge. And so this was another album where it was about exploring. So yeah, when we spoke, I had thoughts, and then I had another thoughts, and it's only really we had recorded all the vocals. We're sitting in a studio, and it's like, okay, so what are we gonna call this now? Uh, and it was then once it was in front of us, what have we made? What have we done here? Uh, so yeah, uh, no, so I feel very good about it, and it feels very much in line with the basic ideology that we put into what we're doing.
And exactly because of the concept that it's fitting with Halloween, with Day of the Dead, but the Dia de Muertos, Mexico,
Mm.
and all the story, the artworks, the mood. Dave is going to make the live review of the album, so we were hearing together, and we said, "Is this like a?" It's the mood is more fitting it, but also the title that "Don't Go to the Forest" is more like, as you said, the concept was warning, invitation, but take care about where you're going in,
Yeah.
and almost it feels more, we have to say, like a dark fairy tale. But
Mm.
we were thinking, okay, but it would be fair to our forest represent all this part of the society of a society of that we want to avoid, that we feel uncomfortable, try to get in forest. I don't know, comfortable truths, comfortable things that we don't
Mm,
want to get in. Or for example, those forbidden thoughts that, for example, in Latin American culture, we all the time told us, keep it in mind, your forbidden thoughts. You cannot express it. And then we have to
mm.
fight each other and don't pay attention about it. So we were saying like, okay, this is more like a metaphor or something that also involves us as personal, because this entire the thing that entering in those dark emotional feeling, it's going to, I don't know, to help or authentic art, especially in music, to confront the things that we don't to pay attention to move forward. I think it's more like don't only just the Halloween and the theme. I don't
No,
know if I'm
exactly.
incorrect.
No, no, yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. The Halloween thing, of course, like it's to me the reason why, because the first it was a song, and the song is a song, and it's named the way it is because for reason uh, because of because of the song. But then the
Yeah.
reason it's an album title as well is because it's that to me as well that multi-layered thing, where of course part of it it's that playing with the forbidden thing. It's the if you're one of those weird kids that got into metal when you were younger to begin with, you're probably one of the kids that would have said, I'm not, when you hear the warning, don't go in the forest, you also say, I'm totally going into the forest. That is
Yes.
something attractive about the forbidden. And and of course that horror movie feel of a title like that, and also the folkloristic thing of, especially if
Mhm.
you're in from Sweden, that in the olden days, the forests were full of giants and trolls and whatever, those ideas. But yeah, as far as because of lyrically what's going on, um, it's a lot about the inner journey.
Yes.
In terms of don't go in the forest is the forbidden doors in your mind that I think metal, because it's this strange marriage between the dark and the uplifting, uh, has a special role, a therapeutical role, a catharsis for people. uh, and I liken it to, I don't know, I haven't gone to therapy, but what I know from it, well, I haven't been in that kind of therapy, I should say. But if you carry something difficult from your childhood, and then you go to talk to a therapist, and they don't, and it's a scary thing. It's always scary and tough to like, okay, so why are you like this? Why are you feeling like this? And to confront yourself and your past, and it feels like, I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in there. But once you do, you can confront your fears, you can learn, you can rebuild, and you can deal with it. Uh, so part of it is that. So yeah, it's a multi-layered title, I would say.
We have to say that it's a sense of time. We feel that these all 10 tracks feel like a sense of times. You start with the first song, Tonight We Must Be Warriors, is a mood that you want to, okay, there is the forest, and we want to go it in. We are brave, we have the courage, but
Hmm.
also we are during this travel. When you are in Dead and Glitz, that is a really hard song. I have to say it's beauty, but also in the sound, but also it's hard to hear the lyric because it's something that is passed in the
Hmm.
society. I don't want to talk about politics, but it's happened. But
Oh, we
also
can talk
it's
politics. To
okay.
the extent,
Well,
if I put it on the album, it's things I can stay behind. Uh, and especially the two songs you mentioned. Well, Death and Glitz, I don't know. It's political in a sense where of course it becomes part of a feministic discourse, uh, I guess. Uh, and but ultimately, uh, because that song was, I just got started to feel very uneasy about how popular true crime is as a
mhm,
genre. And I started to realize that almost always the true crime is about a young, beautiful woman, a young
Mhm.
woman. She went hiking with a boyfriend, only the boyfriend came back, or whatever. It's always, that death has to have nice tits or to matter. It's never an old, ugly, lonely man, you know? His life doesn't matter in that
Yes.
sense. So we're always watching, and then I started to think about that, and I feel like this, well, part of me first started on the end of misogyny, uh,
Mm.
because I'm a straight guy watching it, or whatever. So what am I getting out of this? But it became even more troublesome when I thought about how, well, as far as I understood, this genre is more popular around women. Women
Mhm.
love true crime, and true crime is full of dead young girls. Uh, and I think because I'm not learning something when I watch this. One thing is if you
Okay.
read a study or a deep article or a book about it, or a documentary about these type of crimes in general. But here's
Yes.
something else.
Yes.
Here you zoom in on the faces of the crying
Mhm.
parents and everything, and it's murder porn. Uh, so that song is about that. Then and the idea of how a dead woman is a perfect woman because she can be anything you want her to be, Because you know how there's that I I remember learning years and years ago about the whore and Madonna complex thing of like how a woman has to be both somehow, and that's impossible. But if you're dead, you can be anything anyone desires you to be. So a dead woman
That's
becomes the
correct.
perfect woman, especially if
Yes.
you die young, because then the future of you can be whatever we want it to be, because it never happened. So and that seemed to be at the core of it. So yeah, that true crime's popularity and the profitability of it when then
Yes.
you pump them out. If you open Netflix, it's there. There's always a new dead girl every month. Uh,
Everyone.
and it
Yes.
feels, yeah, so it feels very dark. And then Tonight You Must Be Warriors you mentioned, which basically was I wanted to give the political left a Manowar song because the
Yeah.
aesthetic of heavy metal sing about warriors and kings and stuff. And
Yes.
I don't like war and I don't like kings. But I kind of like heavy metal songs that sings about kings and warriors. So my way into doing something like that was the important words is we must, we, many, and must out of necessity. There's no glory in it. There's sacrifice, but if we sometimes we need to come together and do what's necessary. And that
Exactly.
is if we, through history, civil rights marches, strikes, demonstrations, unionizing, when the actual people come together to fight for something for the betterment of the people. So basically, solidarity. Um, basically, it's about unionizing, stuff like that.
But also, I think it's hard try to find to this balance between the reality, between the things that also expect to you as a metal band or as a person in the world, and also the brutality, the beauty, and all this balance that is happening in the society now. How is difficult, or how can you find this balance? Exactly, because for example, in the album, something that was interesting for me is that you was in the trouble, but also the lyrics tell you, for example, the song that I love it, I have to say the piano holding out the waves. It's like it's
Mm.
going to give you a hand, but also you're not sure you want to take the hand because you don't want to go to the forest. But then you have to face your own things that it's matter to you and the reality that also is outside. How can you balance that in making music? I think it's
I
hard. It's and also especially for cancellation that don't say that because people are going to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
How can you?
cancellation, I don't believe in cancellation on either side of the spectrum. I think there's an audience for everything. All those people who maybe I canceled because I thought they were assholes, they still have their audience. So it's more maybe fragmented, but who cares, I at this point in my life, I'm a grown up. So I will say what I feel is the right thing to say, and I
Yes.
will say it with respect, and I will try to be as honest as possible all the time. And I don't think the balance you talk about, I don't think I worry about it because it's really just all about doing the thing that we want to do at any given time and that we feel feels important to us, you know? So I don't really second guess the thing of like I believe there will be some audience out there for it. I'm not trying to make everyone happy. I'm trying to make first
Mhm.
we tried to make in the band, we tried to make each other happy. And then we made
Yes.
something that made us very happy and pleased, and we put it out in the world. And whoever resonates with that, whoever connects with that, show up to the show. Oh, you're here. Now I'm gonna make you happy. But we don't. I don't worry about compromising uh, around something like this. And also I don't think I don't even think I say so controversial things because basically, uh, again, I because I mean, I don't really say that we are not political because to say something is not political, you can say that if you live in Northern Europe and you're not old and you're not a child and you're white and you're straight and you're a guy, then you can pretend that things are not political. I'm right now in a point in life where I could pretend that things are not political just because,
Exactly.
I have my job and I have, so so it's stupid to say it's not political because everything is political if you really start picking apart. But the main goal of what we do is still not necessarily political. Like the main goal is to express ourselves through heavy music and just, be in tune with what we find important at any given time. And politics is part of it, psychology, what's going on in our lives, personal things is part of it, spirituality can be part of it, all kinds of things can be part of it. Um,
Exactly.
so it's just about following that muse all at any given time.
Exactly. So, wow, did you answer me all those questions that I already had? And it's amazing how you express. Well, we have few
Well,
time
thank you.
because the Zoom doesn't like us. But just for the final questions, I know that this event in Mexico City is going to be sold out. It's close to be sold out, but
Yeah.
we are being a little bit lucky to see avatars growing up. We are big witness about it. So, how your expectations changed since the first time you came here to Mexico? Now you are now in with Metallica and Iron Maiden in States, and now you're
Mm,
going to be in Viva Latin, is one of the most important
mm.
festivals. But how your experience changed since that time, and also how this experience influencing Avatars as a live band?
Well, it's been pretty consistent. Mexico lived up to expectations that were put there for us just based on talking to other bands and those kind of things. Uh, and and having us kind of a good idea of what it would mean through rumors, basically. So my expectations are pretty intact, and that is, I've been searching for the words, and I'm still the best way I can describe the experiences that I feel like Mexican people are generous with their energy. That is a lot of energy going out, and you get energy from each other in that, in how you communicate and how you interact and how you party, basically. That
Mm,
there's a strong participation, and you feel that in a room when you play the shows and everything. And now we're gonna do just more of that in a bigger place, basically. But it's still
yes,
the
Pepsi
same
Center
basic
is.
idea. Yeah, it's gonna be the biggest headline show so far in our careers.
Wow. And also I know that this is not going to be the same because many headliners in the last tour, they miss out and this time I'm going to miss the show because the last time I can buy any more ticket because they were sold out. They were sold out. And how can you say to them, to the people that are going to see you the first time, because they have the expectation for the last tours, but now it's the first, but also for the ones that are your fans that still continue watching you on the shows, that we're going to something expect theatrical stage. I don't know, going to the forest that we don't want to get in.
Mm. No, this is a force you do want to get in, trust me. Because that's another way of looking at the title. I see a little movie in my head of that you are walking in the forest at night and you're lost, you're cold, you're afraid, and you're deep in the wilderness. Then all of a sudden you see light between the trees and you start walking towards that light. And as you get closer, you hear music and you keep going and you reach a meadow. And in that meadow is a circus tent. Shouldn't be there, but it is. With old light bulbs along the strings and everything. And inside the tent, you hear music. And you step inside, and that's the world of Avatar. And that's what we try to build in any show all the time.
Wow, we are glad to see you here again. So we want to say hi for all the Mexicans, well, for all Latin America, because this interview is going to see all Latin America, but also for our fans here, like Headbangers Latin America, you want to share with us minutes.
Well, here's the thing. It took a very long time for us, longer than we ever intended, to reach Latin America. The first time is the hardest. But we made it, and I think we made a point out of doing very well. Especially in Mexico, maybe, but not only Mexico, like the whole, so Chile, Brazil, Argentina, it was all magical, and it set the stage for going the first time is really hard. Coming back is a bit easier, and we just look forward to more of it. I look forward to over the years now. I hope for opportunities to visit more countries in the area and coming back to where we have already been. It's been truly, truly special. And I just want to thank people that they had the patience to hold out for. We were patient and you were patient, and here we are now, where we now have an actual relationship with each other, and I appreciate that very much. Hey, this is Johannes from Avatar, and you watching this, you have very good taste because you are enjoying Headbang Latin America.